What happened?
You want me to do the phone?
Yes, after I get these things, then I'll pop up after and then. I don't find any stuff.
The Davis brother.
Yeah,
My
my older brother.
No one believes that.
I don't know, I think they all do.
You look like you're like 1,000 or something.
No way, Ryan, no. How do I get rid of this? Why do these things do this to me? Nothing is working. You see anything that says close? There we go.
I get besieged with stuff about the royal family as if I really.
Oh, do you?
What is happening?
No, it's so weird.
I'm gonna cry if all my pop-ups, there's no way there. Okay.
Don't tell me Lou was.
It's over here, right?
It's all there,
amazing.
right?
PDF,
Piece of
so we're good.
Okay.
All right, we're going to first.
You probably give it to Bridget or somebody will take it. Bridget will take it, right?
Figured I'd see the stamp and then it's coming here. Anyways. Oh, okay, thank you.
We're gonna have to pause the, no. We're going to pause the.
I'm trying to make the program work, but I always Doesn't that sound?
I think his board member.
No, you're short amount of payback right there.
That's good to see.
And you're gonna be on the board, I hear.
We've been appointed by the board.
Officially in, another 10 days or so.
We've got 4, so.
I've heard that they need someone that really understands this.
No, we've got 3. I can't count. We've got 4.
Union.
Yeah.
They just hate.
I can count. Let me take my shoes off.
Nice to meet you.
Before that, Brian, running that meeting thing at 5 o'clock. All right, it's 5 o'clock, so I'm gonna go ahead and call Ontario County Industrial Development Agency to order. And, we'll get right into the easy part of new business. Unfortunately, neither one of them are here at the moment. So we can wait until Don shows up to do that, but we'll thank Don and Kelly later on, but we can go ahead and introduce the incoming board members. We have Brian Cole. You wanna tell us a little bit about yourself, because nobody here knows you?
No, I think we're good. I don't want to bore them with the details.
All right, and Amanda, if you wanna tell us, say a few words about.
Sure. Amanda McDonald. I work for Alliance National Bank. I've been with them for about 18 years, and I currently run our commercial credit department. Live in Lyons, work in Geneva.
All right.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good. We can get back to, Kelly and Don later when Don shows up, or Kelly is not on the Zoom either, so. So we're good right there, and we go into new business and jump right into GGA Builders and go on that. New business.
Yes, and we'll introduce Dave Croquette from DGA Builders. They are purchasing the building that you see on the screen right now in Fishers. And this is, I gotta tell you that this was another project we had at the Economic Development Corporation, in that Tactical Construction was there, and we made a loan to Tactical.
So this is an application on behalf of GKW Fishers LLC for the acquisition of 7612 County Road 42. It's 12,500 square foot office building with an acquisition and renovation cost of about $1.8 million. This project, if you go to the next slide, GKW Fishers, newly formed entity. DGA Builders would be a long-term leaseholder for this building. This building will enable us to consolidate our operations into one location. Currently, we have a building in Pittsburgh that we're leasing, as well as several storage units throughout the Victor area. And it just makes it a challenge for us from an efficiency standpoint, equipment and storage. The next one. Just a little bit about DGA Builders. We're the general contractor and construction management firm established in 1978. Currently have 58 full-time employees. The piece we have now. Next slide. And just a few things about this project. The current challenges that we're dealing with right now, mortgage interest on this project is just in the last 3 months. We're talking about this project, interest rates, which directly impacts our base rent that we need to cover that mortgage. In addition, property taxes are additional costs over what we're currently leasing. So we're asking for mortgage recording tax and property tax abatement programs. And with the job creation pieces that we're putting in our application, those are conservative from what we expect to do. However, the challenges with the current labor market make it incredibly difficult to put the timing to job creation we have. State right now, it's taking us 2 to 3 times based on what we're seeing in the market right now.
And you don't want any sales tax?
There is some sales tax abatement. Within this, there are some.
Anybody have any questions for Dave?
Are you the same company that acquired Bristol Builders a few years back?
Bristol Builders was a part of our company. We are, that was mainly for our single-family home.
Right.
An area that we are continuing to do a lot of work.
Dave, I think there was a paragraph on the preceding slide that we skipped over, the project is necessary to that part.
Just the mentioning of our dual locations and that we have our storage in one place and our personnel in the other. This building allows us sort of two factors. We have on-site storage where we can bring all those storage centers into one location along with our personnel all in one site. The site also has the ability to expand the building in the future should we need to. That will allow us for future expansion.
Okay. Pause, you have another question? You pause, so.
Well, I guess I'm trying to understand, why I know why you would come to the IDA looking for assistance, right? Who doesn't want assistance, but what is it about this situation? And maybe this is a question for staff more than it is for DGA, but.
We have looked at the investment on this project and it's very tight on the numbers with the impacts to the business with adding, the rent costs are roughly in place right now with what we're paying. The property taxes are in addition to that. However, with the interest rates getting above 5.5% and going potentially as high as 7% right now before we close, that is a significant cost on this.
And Andy, what we would do is we would never take away any of the taxes that are going to the taxing jurisdictions now, the school, the county, and the town. We would freeze their taxes where they are for a period of years, 10 years. And that helps give them some certainty of cash flow.
Okay, so the abatement is on the improved value of the Diane?
Yes.
Okay. And who owns the property now?
A company called Tactical Construction. It's a,
You mentioned.
veteran-owned business.
Mm-hmm.
It's a stable veteran, actually.
Any other questions for Dave? Not? Need a motion to hold the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
A motion from Dan.
Yeah, what's the-
I'll second.
Seconded by Deb.
Names on the car.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none? Carried. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, Dave. We'll move right into High Point, and Sue and Mike can explain to what the public hearing did there.
Thank you, Dave.
Take care.
Yes, which is for High Point 100 is a office building, in Victor where Constellation Brands has had their headquarters for several years. And as we all know, Constellation announced that they're going to be moving to downtown Rochester. So the Rinaldis are trying to backfill this building, and they're starting with the third floor of the building and Broadstone Net Lease, which is also one of the projects we have this evening. Fred Rinaldi is here, by the way. And the project is going to be renovating this 120,000 square foot building at High Point Drive, and it's the oldest building up there. But it's a Class A office space, and it's one of the few Class A office spaces we have in the county. It's really a beautiful space. If you haven't been up there, it's worth going up to see. They're seeking a lease back. The total project costs are $32,082,000. With their first tenant, they're expecting to retain 66 jobs and add 3 new ones in the first 2 years. Their average salary is $134,000 a year for this tenant, and their average hourly worker earns about $46,000 a year. It's for a back office data center, is what we would consider it. It follows our UTEP. It complies with general municipal law. And Michael, if you want to review the cost benefit.
Real quick, if you got that up there. Okay, so here's page 1. All right, so the total actually direct cost temporary construction itself is going to be $12 million. It's actually $11,999,999 in this one. Of that, system estimates earnings from payroll of approximately $5 million. If you notice, this is pretty much like everything happens right in year 1 here, or just before it goes. There might be a little benefit underneath there, but there's not much. But this is pretty much a one-shot deal at this point. So the benefits obviously would be the local spending, the earnings, and the secondary benefits that go along with that. If you can go to the next page. So in this one, we're holding the property taxes fixed at the 22 and 22-23 rates. And therefore, as we estimate about a 2% increase. That might be a little strong, but given today's environment, that's what we have to work with. So a 2% increase over the course of 10 years, there'll be a tax benefit exemption of estimated to be $199,000. So that's that number there. Sales tax exemption is based on what the estimated total dollars would be towards taxable goods. That's at 412, broken down between local and state. The mortgage recording tax, again, is a fixed number. It's 0.75 of what the mortgage is going to be. That would be the 19 million that we saw earlier as part of the project. And the private individuals there, that's over the course of the project itself, coming down to a total benefit of $6 million. So you can see it's a 16-to-1 ratio. It's a good project on this one.
And this project will last a little bit longer because Constellation has to when?
First 24.
Okay, so they need to be out by January 31st, 2024, and they'll, like I said, they're gonna backfill tenants in, and the tenants would be approved by the IDA.
All right, so you have a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll move it.
Can I just ask one question?
We
Is
get
it-
a we get a second.
Oh,
I'll second.
All right, we got a second, Meg, go ahead.
Is this 66 new jobs or 66 jobs that are already in the county and are just moving there?
it's new jobs to the county.
Okay, thank you. That was
Any
all.
other discussions? No, any other discussions, any questions for Fred? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried.
Oh, and I should have mentioned, I'm sorry I didn't. At the public hearing, we only had one comment that came from Supervisor Jack Marin and the economic developer Kathy Rayburn, and they were very glad to have them there.
Okay, all right, well, on to Broadstone Net Lease.
And Broadstone Net Lease is going to be the first tenant in this building, new tenant, I should say, in this building. They're taking the third floor. It's a real estate investment trust that manages buildings in 44 different states and 4 Canadian provinces. They're a publicly traded company, and they've applied for a 10-year sales tax exemption on IT and communications equipment at the High Point 100 location. So this would also be a lease back, but it's just for sales tax. And they're going to be taking about 40,000 square feet of the building. And their total project costs are $21,127,000. Again, they're retaining 66 jobs and adding 3 new jobs over the next 2 years. And this is also considered back office. It does not deviate from our UTEP. And it follows general municipal law and follows our strategic plan. I should mention that they also had a public hearing, and the same comments from Jack Marin and Kathy Rayburn were made. If you want to go over the cost benefit, Michael?
Yep, real quick on this one, so there's, as we had mentioned, the only benefit here is the sales tax exemption over the next 10 years. So that's where we see right here. Real quickly in the numbers here, the costs are strictly the sales tax over the next 10 years of $1,567,000. The local benefits would be the 66 jobs plus the new jobs coming in to both local and state revenues.
All right. Motion to approve the resolution.
I'll make a motion.
That was a motion from Don,
I'll second.
seconded by Dan.
I have a question
Any questions?
for Fred, probably. You mentioned that Constellation has to the end of 2024. You're still able to get the project started?
The beginning.
And in January 24.
January 20, well, it's still a year away.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, are you able to start?
Yes, so we have, even in light of their move
Mm-hmm.
to the city of Rochester, which we totally understand, we have an incredible working relationship born over the 15 years
Mhm.
of our landlord-tenant engagement. And there will be a coordinated take back of each floor, which will
Gotcha.
allow for us to commence construction.
Okay, I wondered about that.
One of the cool things that's happening here, this is transferring from a single-tenanted building to a multi-tenant building. All of our buildings up there enjoy a load or loss factor of less than 4%, which means there's less than 4% of weight of common area for space that they're not using for the purposes of operation. For this conversion, we're applying the same here. We're completely modernizing this to accomplish the goals of sophistication that are enjoyed by 200 and 300. That Dave and should work well to help us do that.
Is Broadstone the group that also owns the Piano Works in East Rochester?
I don't know if they own Piano Steps Soul, I looked at buying that a couple years ago, but the, this is, Amy Tate's, company.
Yeah, Their father.
Yes.
I can't think of their,
Yes.
the new, it's the same family.
Yes.
It's the same family.
And they sold, so Panworks sold to a developer who just sold it again.
We were former tenants and the developer destroyed us.
My father loved that building. I went through, I tried to dissect it. It's so bizarre the way it was built. There was no way I would have been able to afford to.
Yeah. Thank you.
This is one of the largest, real estate or landlords in the country. So we're very proud.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Appreciate it. Have an awesome holiday. And if anyone wants a tour, I'm there almost every day. Every weekend.
All right, we'll move on into unfinished business. Yeah, I'm not gonna forget. I go now. So we're gonna go into a FAME presentation under, unfinished business and, introduce my fellow Workforce Investment Board member, Rick Plimpton from Optimax.
How is this unfinished? Have you guys been talking about things?
Well, it says old business, I don't like, it kind of sounds like elderly abuse when you say old business. Unfinished.
All right, well, this is my first time here, so she tells me I just have an hour to talk to you. So, I'll try to keep it brief. Rick Plimpton, born in Canandaigua. Today I'm CEO of Optimax Systems, Inc. We make precision optics for research. We're located just off 104 in Wayne County. This year, we've hired over 140 people, new employees to our work. Doing an expansion of our facility, and we're one of the few companies that are about 40 companies. I'm here to talk to you about FAME today. I'm with respect to FAME and my role there, I'm interim chair until we, because of during the pandemic, FAME kind of went dormant a little bit, and now we're kind of standing the committees back up, that sort of thing. But earlier this year, we took the opportunity to reassess what the strategic plan is for FAME. What are we going to do going forward? So I'll very briefly give you some insight into that. But FAME's mission is to work with advanced manufacturers, Finger Lakes Advanced Manufacturers Enterprise. Most of you guys grew up here in the area. I mean, you know that with regard to education in this region, it was pretty much led by Kodak, Bosch & Lomb, and Xerox for decades and decades. In the 90s, they all pulled back. They started outsourcing. Around 2005, we founded FAME. It's a public-private partnership, and it's a way for small to mid-sized companies to put together a cohesive message and let educators and what needs to be taught. That's what FAME's really all about. So let's go to the next one. So in terms of committees, we have an executive committee, which is really oversight of what all the activities of FAME. Marketing committee, which is tasked with creating awareness and leading some activities and initiatives in the community. The pipeline committee really is twofold. One aspect of the pipeline committee is working with the children in our community, K through 12, and creating awareness about the opportunity and importance of STEM education and advanced manufacturing careers that are right here in our backyard. Born in Canandaigua, but I grew up in Bloomfield, and I gotta tell you, I didn't even know about it, manufacturing as a career until I was like 2 years into college. So watching TV, children will learn about being a policeman or being a fireman, a doctor, that type of thing, but you don't see TV shows about working in a factory and all the exciting, to me, it's pretty exciting. We make optics for NASA. We have optics on every Mars rover. I love the work that we do, and there's many other companies here in the Finger Lakes region that are doing really exciting work. Advocacy and policy. This is a new committee that we're putting together, and it's because there's a real opportunity now to reach out, not only at the state level, but the federal level for funding. You go back 20 years ago, you couldn't get anybody to talk about workforce development. Today, it's a national narrative. Everybody's talking about it. There's lots of monies that have been appropriated for workforce development. So through this group or subcommittee, we want to identify those programs that our business leaders can tap into. leverage to strengthen. And then the student award, this is an endowed award that we put together, and we give out $1,000 to one student at FLCC each year. We've been doing it for several years. Really like to see this expanded, to where we're including a student from MCC and GCC. Fame's total reach is the 9 counties of the Finger Lakes. One of the other things that Fame is doing, in addition to creating awareness about career opportunities, getting people workplace ready, is making sure that our member companies are creating good jobs. Do this through the Job Quality Initiative. Job quality I view as like a program, a set of resources that business leaders can use to make sure that they're creating good jobs for their. There are a lot of resources available. This is a new initiative through the Department of Labor and Department of Commerce. Optimax was fortunate enough to be a case study, and so I flew down in August and met with secretaries of Department of Labor in the session where they launched this new program. So it's really exciting to be a part of this, and through Fame, we're helping local companies learn more about it. There's a local manufacturing extension partnership, MEP, that and NextCore up in the city has the local MEP contract, and that is a team that's funded through NIST, which is under Commerce. The MEP group is the team that is tasked with helping everyone here in the Finger Lakes learn more about the Job Quality Initiative and to provide assessment tools so that we can ensure that I'm sure you guys know that unemployment is like wicked low, but this actually is a couple months old. I looked at the new stats from last month. Unemployment's under 3% all across the state. It's crazy low. So it doesn't matter if you're talking about healthcare, manufacturing, skilled trades, everybody needs workers. Organizations that are going to be able to hire and retain the best workers are the ones that are providing the best benefits or providing good jobs, providing. Game is how local manufacturers are going to up their game a little bit to do a better job retaining, hiring and retaining. Like I said, at Optimax, we've hired 140 new people. We went from about 300 people to 400, I think we're at 400. And these are just really quick, some of the drivers of the Job Quality Initiative. Recruitment and hiring is a really big piece of the pie, but the things that help strengthen an organization's ability to do this are things like benefits, making sure that everyone's being treated equal, treated fairly, paid fairly, empowerment and representation, so making sure employees have a voice, job security and good working conditions, organizational culture, pay, and access to skills and career advancement. So that's just a quick flyby. All right, next slide. These slides provided, so anyone that wants more information, you can get a copy of these. This slide is where you would go to find more information about the Job Quality Toolkit on the website for the U.S. Department of Commerce. Next. And then there are several case studies. I think there's eight or 10 of them now that have been posted, and Optimax is one of the case studies up there, and provide some sort of like ideas for inspiration business leaders might consider to up their game a little bit. So this is the Frame strategic framework. So going forward, we want to continue to create awareness that there's lots of good jobs here that are available in the Finger Lakes region, and we want to help people get workplace ready to have an interest in working in it. What's my ask? I might need a little coaching here because I'm not sure what's available from Ontario County, but I will tell you that Fame's annual spend is on the order of $100,000. If we could get some sponsorship for some of our activities like Finger Lakes Works with Their Hands is one of the big student events we do each year. It attracts typically 600 to 800 kids. You know, I think this year it was 600 when we did it in the spring. Pre-pandemic, we were getting 750 to 800 kids. It's a great event. And the other thing that we're doing, FAME has always been sort of a bootstrapped organization funded by company donations and sponsorship. But to get some support where we could bring on a grant writer. Right now, there's a wonderful opportunity in front of us to write some proposals for some new monies that are being flowed down from the federal level that could really help our community a lot. But we need a grant writer that can write some. For that, it's probably $10,000 to $20,000 for like a 6-month period. Proposals put together. That's kind of a ballpark of what we're doing and what we're looking for. Questions?
Apprenticeship programs, do you get involved with any?
Yeah, absolutely, great. Happy to talk about that. So we do a couple things. We have a 5% pledge that we've done for at least 10 years. And through that, what we're doing is encouraging all of our member companies to hire 5% of whatever their total employment is for internships. So if you have 100 employees at your organization, bring in 5 interns each summer. Or if you have 150, bring in 7. At Optimax, we typically hire 30 to 40 summer interns. And so that's a great way to give students a little exposure, get a chance to see what a factory work is all about. But it's also a great way for those companies to test drive that. I know for us, we hire almost half of the students that intern with us start right in working with us. I think it's about a third come right to work with us after college. But then several will return later, which is a beautiful thought, get some other experience. I can work with us. That's great to see them come back. As far as apprenticeships go, FAME works hand in hand with RTMA. RTMA is based in the city, and they really handle the apprenticeship programs for the skilled trades. At Optimax, we do have a precision manufacturing optician apprenticeship. It's second of its kind. The first one was set up in 19. We created a new one and got that accredited at the state level, and now it is also accredited at the federal level. So we're helping other companies that are interested in apprenticeship set up in their organizations by copying what we did.
Back in the day when my company was selling to tool and die shops.
Uh-huh.
I think there was 11 or 12 major tool and die shops in Rochester. We were known for that. They had, actually had a Rochester Machining and Tooling Institute or something. They actually taught people how to run the kind of equipment, and then all those different companies were always drawing from those people for projects.
Yeah, that's what our team, it's been reinvented, but it's the same organization.
Yeah, I don't think the one that I remember even exists anymore.
It's a similar organization. And yeah, so there's still a lot of good work going on there.
And pre-pandemic, the IDA always gave money to FAME, and we had a line item for that.
Yep.
Remember the amount? $10,000
We had a
a year.
contract.
And then, of course, we do sponsorships for Finger Lakes Works with Their Hands, and
I've worked with Rick on Finger Lakes Works with Their Hands for. They have their own building and that, we did trades, they have another building, and it's quite an undertaking, 700 kids, and they all get lunch, and it's,
Is that the same one that Brian Young used to do so much with?
yeah. Brian used to run the operating area with
Yeah.
all the heavy equipment.
He got to
for us.
play with all the toys, yeah.
That was his favorite day, to see him smile all day long.
Mhm.
Actually, this past spring, we ran that event on FLCC's Canandaigua campus. We had to move to a new venue because it's still a great event.
and it combined too with Finger Lakes Health and
Yeah, we broadened the
the
scope of it.
ag one also, right?
Yeah, And all the feedback that I got from the kids was that they really enjoyed that because there were more options.
Any other questions for Rick?
Who should I follow up with? I have questions.
Me.
Who should I follow up with? Sue? Okay.
Um,
Thank you for your support.
Make a motion to continue the funding as we did prior, at $1,000 level. Make a
Yeah, I'll
motion.
make that motion.
A motion from Don, seconded. All right, motion from Don, seconded by Andy. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yeah,
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Thanks a lot, Rick.
Usually
B and W Solar, 2 and 4.
something and
Yeah, Barry.
Barry,
Oh,
you're
sorry.
up. You're up.
I was answering a different question. So BW Solar, 2 and 4 are, existing community solar projects. They have reached out, to inquire about potentially selling, each of those projects to a new owner. They haven't closed with the IDA yet. We sort of told them what it would look like if they tried to sell the projects before we closed versus what would it look like if we tried to close after they close with the or sell after they close with the IDA. So they owe us additional information as far as the timing, who the new buyer is, and what the sort of timeline looks like. So there's no motion for today, but it's just to inform the board that they did reach out to let us know that they are looking to sell those 2 projects, and we'll follow up potentially at the next board meeting with additional information.
All right.
Was that solar operation the one that was gonna keep the solar benefits local? As opposed to putting it out into the grid? There was one, I think it was up in Phelps, where it was gonna benefit the residents of the area.
So the community solar projects are required to get subscribers.
Is that different from this?
Nope, this is a
No,
community solar.
this is a
Okay,
community solar
so-
project.
So that leads to me, the question is the new owner gonna keep it that way?
Under the regulations for the community solar program, they're required to get subscribers for the project, and those subscribers get a credit on their utility bill. However, there's no requirement that they be exceptionally local, like Phelps or even Ontario County. Just has to be the same utility provider.
I think this one was B and W is.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of Phelps is Sulphur.
Oh, this was in Phelps
This
also.
one is Phelps also.
There's 2 projects there.
Any other questions? All right, on to the airport update. Before we get crazy started in that, we have a contract we have to do for the airport. Ryan, you wanna go into that one?
Yep. So based on a conversation from 2 months ago, we reached out or sent out an RFP for, economic impact study for the county from the airport. We had 3 come back. Fordham interviewed, R.A. Weidman Associates. This is what they do. They scored very highly. This is what they do. And actually just met with them, was it last week? At a cost of, the contract cost of $18,877, and they are actually already starting. They started to collect some information from Bob, and chomping at the bit to help us out. So,
They were a company that works extensively with McFarland Johnson also.
they have some familiarity with our airport too. What was the company name again? R.A. Weidman Associates.
Weedman.
Out of Kentucky.
So, motion to sign the contract and allow them to continue doing your economic impact study.
I'll make a motion.
And motion,
I'll second it.
seconded by Andy. Any discussion?
Is it in the budget?
Not as an individual item.
Hmm?
Not as an individual item.
Money in the budget.
Eventually there will be.
I'm really impressed with how fast you got that done. Down the table on that one. Whoever I'm looking at, Bob or Sue, but anyway, great job. So we got 3 bids. These guys obviously impressed you. Right. Where were the numbers?
Numbers as far as price on,
From the other
you know,
two.
they were all within the ballpark.
Yeah, the 14 to 22, I think is, the roundabout numbers was 14 to 22.
Okay.
And, they were, the middle one was like literally went 14, 18, 20, whatever it was. So it was very close. Price was not gonna be a factor, I think, when you read the entire packets that we received.
And who evaluated the proposals, the staff, IDA staff?
Michael, Bob, Sue, and myself.
Thank you.
Independently, just want to add that. So they were done independently. We sat down with our sheets, and everybody compared, and there was a,
It was a good consensus right off the bat. All 3 firms that had proposals were very qualified, some more than others, in different aspects of it. Some had more of a local sense, and some had good presentation, and but we've been, I think, won out because of their expertise in aeronautical and aviation area. They've done a number of these studies for New York State and for individual airports too, so very familiar. There's not going to be any need for translating language, you know, about airport operations or what an FBO is or something like that. We'd have to do with other companies. And after conversations, I think we're really pretty happy we made that decision. They've got a good staff and they're ready to go. And we've already started moving on with some data and imagery, so.
At the end of it, they will produce a brochure type document with all the data they collect. They're also going to give us a little bit of background, so how they got there, which I think is nice, because some of us still do need some translation. So, time to get them started.
Excellent. That's really good.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing none? Carried. We all got a, report from Bob. Do you have anything else to update us on at the airport, Bob?
No, I just note out of the report that the FAA has, since we've been reclassified the airport from local to regional, they recalculate the numbers for our bipartisan infrastructure funds. That's the 5-year funding from that bill that we originally would have gotten about $159,000 per year. Now, that's for 2 years, first 2 years, but the next 3 years have been upgraded since the category was adjusted up. Now we're at $292 of AIP funding. AIP funding is all for federal funding, infrastructure type of projects for the airport.
Is that funding in terms of grant money or in terms of loan money?
Grant money.
It's
It's entitlement money, and that's on top of the $150,000 of entitlement funds we have. So some of that gets banked, depending on what we have for projects. Some of what we spend year to year. For example, the generator project we have going now is it's an entitlement funding project. It's about $150,000. So.
As a regional airport, will we have to have a bigger generator?
I don't know. I don't think we could afford one.
I don't think we could either.
Not at $150,000, where, you know, I think you and I could have gone out and bid it for about 40.
Do you say electrician should be cheaper? Aviation capital grant, go into that one, Bob?
Yeah, New York State's soliciting for eligible projects under the Aviation Capital Grant Program. It's available to all public airports for infrastructure and economic competitiveness. up to $2.5 million per project is available out of a $50 million fund, so it's a competitive grant. We've had a few successful grants. You never know when they're gonna solicit this or for how much, or if it's gonna go from one year to the next. So last month they solicited it. The deadline for application is January 11th. Fortunately, one of the key infrastructure projects, I think this board, the airport committee has identified as for sewer infrastructure expansion onto the airport property. Fortunately, this is a project I've been working with McFarland Johnson and the county DPW, and in hopes that a grant opportunity would come up, and this has. We spent the last few weeks kind of finalizing the design and the cost estimates. Bridget, did you send us in the packet? No. Okay, well, there's a map in here of.
She can bring it up.
Oh, she got it. Yeah. So those are the numbers. We decided, figured out there's you can see Brickyard Road, Thomas Road, Mercy Flight, just to give you an oriented in that. That's the runway. The public sewer section is a pump station adjacent to Mercy Flight and runs along the road, and it's a force main that goes to the existing sewer. That's the $581,000 that the county and McFarland Johnson has come up with. The gravity main to the terminal. Oh, you didn't pick the right one. Anyway, this is the gravity main to the terminal area, and then there's a gravity main to the other hangar areas, plus $50,000 for administrative and permitting. That brings the total grant application to $1.5 million, $1,582,000. That's 90% covered by the state. Local share would be $158,000. Try to guess when this. You never know when they're going to approve it, or you'll get finalization. But spending would probably come around 2025, which works out pretty well in our capital improvement plan for the FAA, because a lot of the spending will be in 2024, the heavy spending. So it falls in pretty well with that. So that's the direction we decided to go. We looked at different configurations, different pricing. We thought this was the best. There are some laterals we considered, but it was another couple $100,000. So I think this is a good. This will facilitate any of the development we have. It'll cover the terminal area, the SRE building, any development along the new Flightline Drive, and any projected hangar construction going down the Mercy Flight taxiway. So I prepared the resolution, which basically just says if it was awarded to the IDA, we would then we endorse the application, which is due in January, and we'll accept it. And this resolution goes along with the grant package as well. This needs Ryan's signature after your endorsement. Any questions?
Questions about? None? Motion to endorse. Move it. Motion?
A second.
Motion is second by Deb. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none? Carried. And now, I'd like to have somebody propose a motion for the proposed, that we go into executive session for the proposed acquisition, sale, or lease of real property, or the proposed acquisition of securities, or sale or exchange of securities held by such public body, but only when publicity would substantially affect the value thereof.
I'll make that motion. Exactly the way you said
Thank you,
it.
very good. Andy made the motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Don. All right, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. We're gonna go into executive session. All staff, new members, and county employees can remain.
Yeah, sounds it. Sounds it.
Sounds good.
I know, so.
Pass those out down here.
Erica's still on. David?
David,
Who's Erica?
Eric is also from.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Erica, sorry, Erica.
Yep.
All right, hold on, let me.
Got this right.
That's where my.
You guys can settle this
That's
over
up to you.
Christmas
So,
dinner.
if okay, we'll excuse ourselves, but, happy holidays, everybody.
All right, thanks, David. Thanks, Erica.
Okay,
Right,
thanks,
so
everybody.
I'll still-
Ryan, we'll be in touch. Okay,
I'll make that motion. Go
Good
on
night.
executive.
All right, I have a motion,
Second.
seconded by Dan. Any discussion? All right, we're out of executive session. Oh, vote on it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Ontario County IDA has come out of executive session, taken no action, and decided to take no action at this time. So, on to the next part of business. And we're into just plain old administration. Minutes from last meeting.
Motion
Yeah.
to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made, seconded by John. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Hearing none? Carried. On to the audit plan. Mike, you wanna?
Yeah, just briefly, the audit committee met last Friday. We reviewed, it's just an annual formality. We went through the audit plan, which is the same as from year to year. It'll be the same firm also. So we went through it, and the cost for this year audit would be $11,825. Last year was $11,250. That's pretty good. It wasn't that much of an increase. We are starting to see out there in the field where some of the lesser audits are starting to get bought out, if you catch my drift. So they kept ours fairly stable for this year, which is nice. And that's it.
Who's doing the audit?
Mango, Metzger, and Bar.
And so
They're the same ones who do the county, which I think is why we're getting.
both Lou and I were in attendance, and it's the same plan. They will start, we're always the first audit on their agenda for the year ends. So they'll start, I think it was the last week in January. Got a lot of work to do before we're done. All right, we have a motion to, approve the audit plan. Already been approved. Audit committee sends forward an extra motion to approve.
Make the motion.
I have a motion from.
Second.
Seconded from,
Won't hurt.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Invoices for payment, Mike and Bob.
All right, monthlies, for the airport, we've got the facilities all look good, labor parts are pretty typical for a month, and, we got some mileage in there from, I guess, for most of the year. Amazing what we're paying for diesel, about 5 gallons, 350 gallons, almost $1,700, $1,800. Needed a battery for our broom, and what else? Forklift repair is the only thing that's unusual there. And then tank pumpage for the Canada Gore Center septic, which is reimbursed.
Okay, for the agency, CMB, so we got the final one for December, the $5,835 is the master agreement for new folks. That's the contract we have with the county for use of the building, the staff, et cetera, et cetera. We got a couple reimbursements there. The OCI Day, the $20,000 we didn't ratify last month. We're ratifying it this month. It slipped the agenda. And then this particular month is also $20,000 by coincidence. Mr. Manikowski, I'm sorry he couldn't be here today, but this is his final payment. So he is our last payment for Michael this year. And Ryan Davis, some mileage. And finally, let's see, we got Loki Brill, the three contracts. And finally, Underberg and Kessler,
And the
monthly.
Loki Brill is paid out of their escrow?
Out of the escrow account, yes.
Motion to approve bills.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Don, seconded by Andy. Any discussion on the bills? All those in favor of payment? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Fast New York application, I'll turn that right into Ryan.
Fast New York application. So we received, a request from a local business. Fast New York is a $200 million grant from, New York State for infrastructure upgrades. They can only be applied for by, municipalities or industrial development agencies. So Acoustis has asked us to apply on their behalf and given us permission to do so, for infrastructure upgrades for possible expansion. Go ahead with the application process.
I'll move it. Motion from Andy,
Okay.
second by Deb. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Carried. We all have reports from both Bob and Mike on our financials and the airport. Does anybody have any questions on those reports?
For the new board members, I'd be more than happy to sit down with you, go through it line by line. If you're interested, but,
Right.
I want him to stay.
Yeah.
More than happy to do that.
Especially walking through each of the depreciation lines, that would be thrilling.
You now know why I stay quiet over here.
I have one serious
Motion to
question.
accept the report.
Workforce development.
So moved.
I have a motion for
Yeah.
to accept the report.
Deb's got a question on the financial
Okay.
report.
Oh.
I thought I was being serious for a minute. Workforce development is a little low as compared to budget. I don't know what that is.
Well, that's the 10,000 we just talked about.
Okay,
So we
I
were
thought it
budgeting for
was,
it, and they
but-
weren't applying for it. And then this year, we did fund a couple projects very early on
Okay.
in the year, and that's why you have a small number.
Okay, I thought that's what it was, but,
Yeah, I think it was kind of in lieu of it.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
We have a
I'm sorry.
motion. Not a problem. Motion. Second. We have a second. Oh, any discussion? Any other discussion on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Carried. And I'd like to have Don come up here for a second. We'd all like to thank you for your service to the board. Thank you very much. You got anything you want to say to the board before you're off and about?
I have to say that it was really interesting, a huge education to me as to, what's happening in the county on a development standpoint and what it took to run this whole organization. The county's involvement in the airport and supporting that as a part of me, and I really appreciate the support that I got from the staff and getting to know.
Thank you.
I got stuck behind, coming down Boughton Hill Road. They were trying to move something through the town that caused them to shut down parts of the road partway. And, so, sorry for the tardy.
Before I adjourn, I'd also like to make mention that Kelly Mediga is also, receiving a plaque and retiring from the board, due to the fact that she's in Rhode Island 90% of the time. So I'd like to make mention of that and thank her for her service also. So, yeah. To adjourn.
I'll make it.
Motion from Don.
And Kelly seconded.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Second by Andy, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, everybody have a wonderful evening.
And
And a nice Christmas too.
And I take it Brian and Amanda, the new coming on
Yeah.
board? Welcome.
Oh, that's right, you were here, yes, Brian and Amanda are the new board members.
Yep.